news and we've got to talk about it. If you guys are new to the broadcast, please make sure that you put your name in the chat, say hello, make sure you give us a follow. Like I said, today's going to be a little bit sobering and I'm probably going to go off on a little bit of a rant. So if you guys are part of my Perry peeps, my Facebook fans, my YouTube fans, Twitch, all of you guys, make sure that you hit the share button. And like I said, this is I'm I'm stunned. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm absolutely stunned. And if you're not disturbed, I think there's something wrong. And I don't mean that to be a disrespectful statement, but honestly, there's something wrong. If we're so desensitized to some of these topics that we're going to talk about in just a few minutes, that we don't get the severity of it, there's something really, really wrong. So if you guys are my replay viewers, put a hashtag replay in the chat, and then say hello so I can make sure to find you afterwards. Like I said, today's going to be a little bit sobering because it's what we're talking about today is so outrageous that it's hard to believe it's actually true. I mean, put a one in the chat box if you guys saw the information that I posted earlier, and hopefully we are going live. I know Facebook seems to be dragging me out to never no man's land, and not it's definitely suppressing the stuff that I'm posting. Maybe the hashtags I'm using, I mean, they've definitely caught on to step up, stand out, and speak is the hashtag here. Hey Candy, welcome to the broadcast, honey, thanks for being here. Because this has to be talked about. Now, I'm going to start out with Little Nas and Little Nas X. Put a 2 in the chat box if you know who Little Nas X is. I didn't know much about him. Honestly, I'd heard kids talking about him before. I heard some things said. And, I heard his song, I think it was, what is it, Old Town Road or whatever. Didn't think much about it. Then yesterday, I got the notification about the Satan shoes. Put a 3 in the chat box if you know about the Satan shoes. And if you are, if you're excited about those, I think there is something definitely wrong with you. And I say that again, not trying to be disrespectful, but when we become desensitized to the absolutely ludicrous satanic things that are going on in the world, things are going cray cray. I mean, seriously, people. So again, for those of you who are just tuning in, tonight's broadcast will be a little bit different, but I am definitely going to get down some brass tacks on things. And the show is called Step Up, Stand Out, and Speak because we need to stop being silent. When things are out of control, when people are out of control, we need to say something. And there's a lot of people that I've been talking about for my kids, I never let them play some of those the rated M video games. As a matter of fact, I still don't, even though they're 18 and 24. They're not allowed to bring those into my house. And if it's rated M and it's, there's some violence, it's one thing. But have you seen what these things are doing, right? Have you seen the way they perpetrate, I mean, I think, what is it? Which one is it? You can rape people, you can kill people, you can create an absolute bloodbath. It's not just kind of cowboys and Indians. It's not warriors doing their job. It's people that are enjoying death and dismemberment, right? It's really gone nuts. Hey, St. Petersburg, welcome, Yasmin. Nice to see you. Yasin, nice to see you. Glad you're here. Mark, Melanie. Oh, I think that says, was that Smarty? I don't know what that means. Welcome. Hey, Melanie Weiser in the house. Okay, so guys, if you guys are new to the broadcast, drop your name in the chat. If you are not new and you're going to get some rock and good value and some controversial information, feel free to hit the share button because we need to do that. And if you guys are not following me, definitely come over to the Haps app. You guys, haps.tv/invite/Vicky Fitch. Come on over because, I've been in the schnitzel box so many times on Facebook. Like I said, I can hardly get my content out there anymore. It's pushing through. I think I have one person on my page where we used to have a couple hundred people that would show up. But like I said, that's all right. It is what it is. But this needs to be talked about. Thank you for the high five, Melanie. I appreciate you. Who introduced you to Haps? Actually, many people did, but Joanne Pham is the one that I connected, that I actually ended up coming to the app over from her link. So hopefully you guys will continue to do it. I actually had my account a long time ago. I just never used it. I was using another broadcasting service. And anyway, so let's get down to here. So, we're going to talk a little bit about video games. We're going to talk about the Uber Eats driver that was killed. I don't know if you guys know about that. And we're going to talk about Little Nas and his Satan shoes because the world has gone mad. It's a mad, mad world is the topic for today because it has gone mad. Again, I mean, 50 years ago, of course, we didn't have all the technology we had, but if you had people enjoying laughing or having a good time over killing someone, murdering them, raping them, we would have put them in an institution, right? Because that was wrong. But now we have desensitized children and desensitized adults and desensitized people to the point where, and again, I'm going to blend all three of these together, but as I'm talking about that, because it reminds me of what is the name of that dang game? Auto Come on, somebody pop it in there for me. Anyway, these two young girls, and again, it's all demented. It's satanic. We got Satan, we got dementedness, we got all kinds of stuff wrapped up together. So we're going to blend all three stories together and talk about them individually. And feel free to pop in your questions there. And again, if you guys are new to the broadcast, put your name in the chat so I can say hello to you. If you come over to haps.tv/invite/Vicky Fitch, you can also get some coins and stuff that you're allowed to give to broadcasters and even start your own broadcasts. And you can also see the chat from all 9 platforms that we're streaming on right now. So, come on over here if you haven't already, or at least jot it down for later. Whatever platform you're on, like I said, make sure you've liked and subscribed there as well. But who knows how long I will be on those platforms. Thank you so much. Yeah, Scene, you're awesome. I don't play those games. Not sure what the name is. Uh, Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto, GTA, Grand Theft Auto. Okay. In Grand Theft Auto, you can actually, if I've never played it, but this is what I understand from other people, you can murder people, you get points. Like, I think one of the things that we had a little meme going through before is that, thank goodness we got rid of Dr. Seuss and stuff because, my son needs to get back to Grand Theft Auto where he can kill the prostitute so he doesn't have to pay her. Right. And so it's that kind of like demented thinking. And they were joking. They were being sarcastic. I believe they were being sarcastic about how ludicrous it is, the things that we want to get rid of that are offensive. But here, two girls, I think they were, what was it, 14 and 16? I think they were 14 and 16, right? Hello, Calgary, Dr. John, welcome to the broadcast. I think they were 14 and 16. I have to go back and check this, but regardless of what their ages are, these two girls, an Uber Eats driver came to deliver food from, again, this is from what I understand, trying to piece it together now because it's, somebody was videoing these girls basically jacking this guy's car. They took his car, drove down the street. They ended up flipping the car over and he flew out and was killed. But while he was still alive and these girls are getting out of the car, climbing out of the car, completely unfazed that the man that they just dragged down the street is dead. They're walking, trying, oh, but I have to go get my phone. People, think about this. Imagine if you were first of all, you made the really lousy choice to try and steal someone's car. Okay. And then the second phase is you're driving down the street trying to get rid of them and they're still holding on. And then you flip the car and kill the person, right? Or he's flown up against this chain fence and his face. I don't even know how to explain it. It's horrific. And if you watch the video, like I said, it's horrific. But then the girl's running back to the car and people are saying, stay back from the scene, stay back from the scene. And she's like, I need my phone. Like, she's completely desensitized to the fact that she basically just murdered someone. She tried to steal his vehicle, ended up going down the street, whatever they did, spin the car too fast and literally flipped the car. She had to climb out the window from the top down and they killed a man. And they're worried about a telephone. None of them were calling 911, 13 and 15. Thank you, Melanie. No one of them were calling 911. Other people that were on the street that were videoing because they weren't sure what was going on. It looks like they were saying, hey, what's going on? Wait a minute. They're fighting. Hey, I think they're, oh my gosh, I think they're stealing the car. Call 911. And they're not. These girls, can you even imagine? You would run out of the car. You would be trying to find out if this person was okay. You'd be calling 911 yourself at what you had just done. But these people, they were trying to get their phone. They were climbing out of the car, kind of like, that didn't turn out like we expected. What have we done to have this world so desensitized and our citizens and our people so desensitized to death? They killed this man. Now, apparently, they've been brought up on charges of murder. And then there are people tweeting out they shouldn't be charged with murder. Why? And these are two black girls, right? Now, there's a lot of race stuff that's going on. Do I believe black and white, black people are better than white people? And of course, no, I don't. But the fact is, why isn't everybody talking about this? Why is it only a few stations? Why isn't the mainstream media picked this up? Why isn't it not worldwide that two people, they took an Uber Eats driver from the Middle East as Anwar, would anybody know his name? I believe it's Anwar. I think he's from Palestine. And they tried to steal his car and they ended up murdering him, and they were worried about a phone. There's such a disparity between our kindness and compassion and recognizing what the heck is going on to the world. What is happening? Why are these why? I don't get it. Okay, I know. I'm kind of losing it over this because I was so devastated just from the piece that I saw that I can't imagine being worried about my phone unless I was trying to call 911. I'd be screaming, I'm sure somebody call 911, and feeling to see if the man was alive. They just walked past him like, what, whatever, that didn't go well, but completely desensitized, which then kind of drives me around. Oh, let me check your stuff here, you guys. And again, hit the share button because we need to talk about this. If you are not disturbed about that, something's wrong. Like I said, you've been desensitized if you don't find two girls stealing a car, ending up murdering somebody, whether it's second degree murder or first degree murder. First degree means you actually meant to murder them, or second degree murder, which means it happened in the act of doing something else that you weren't supposed to be doing. So second degree murder, it doesn't matter. They didn't seem like that was the big deal. They were inconvenienced by the phone, and dang, kind of like, dang, we got caught, or that didn't work out well. You should be outraged and concerned and freaked out. What the heck is going on? And then when we tie it into the second part, which is Little Nas X and his Satan shoes. I mean, put a 4 in the chat box if you saw yesterday when it came out, Little Nas X and his Satan shoes with a real drop of blood in the sole of the shoe, and his whacked out video having gay sex with Satan. Okay, let that just sink in for a minute, people, because if you don't have a problem with that, then evil has perpetrated the world to such a degree that we can't even see pure evil right in front of us, because that's whacked out. Whether you believe in God or not, even if you believe Satan is like the perpetual boogeyman and you don't actually believe in Satan, you know what it represents. You know what satanic cults do, and having a pentagram on the shoes and having blood inside the shoes and having a video where he's literally having gay sex with Satan. I mean, it's nauseating. And by the way, spoiler alert, he ends up killing Satan at the end and taking his horns and kind of like taking his place. That's some messed up stuff. And this is a person that admits that his main audience is children. Okay, now Dr. Seuss has to go, people, but let's go ahead and have gay sex with Satan. Let's go ahead and then kill Satan and then become Satan ourselves. Does anybody see a problem with this? Does anybody recognize that we're spiraling in a direction that is not healthy? This is what our kids are looking at. When I was a kid, we were, playing outside and we were staying out, and, my mom had a bell. And when the bell went off, we had to be home for dinner. And then if we were out past dark, we had to be on our street with the other kids on our street. I get that's different. The times have changed. But now we got kids stealing cars and murdering people without being overwhelmed and devastated. There's something wrong, people. And if you don't have the courage to step up, stand out, and speak and say, this is wrong, or if you don't see how wrong it is, then you've been desensitized too. And you've got to start some sensitivity training and recognize and get back on course, because this is messed up. Okay, I'm going over here. Sorry. Let's see, Lori here trying to register for HAPS, but too many steps on my cell phone. Sorry, Lori, but I'm glad you're here. Again, appreciate you guys being here. If you guys haven't shared it out yet, share out the broadcast, because this is important. And I know that I'm a little outraged, like the guy. I shared out his video earlier today, but yesterday I almost thought it was a joke when I got the little clip. Somebody sent it to me in Messenger about these Satan shoes, right? They're Nike shoes. They have a pentagram on the front. They were selling 666 pairs at over $1,000 each. Apparently he sold out in 5 minutes. as well, which, again, guys, think about this. Think about it. If are we really willing to walk down that line of total demented whatever, whether it's for money? Because some people are going to say, "Oh, I just knew they'd be worth money. There's only 666 pairs." And how do you put a drop of human blood in the sole of a shoe if Nike isn't actually making it for you? This is the part that I couldn't quite figure out. Maybe you guys can help me a little bit. So because Nike says, well, we're not actually making the shoes. They're not denouncing them. They're not suing them, saying, hey, stop using our name and our brand as something. I mean, they did take Betsy Ross, their Betsy Ross flag off a pair of shoes earlier this year or last year, because that's going way overboard. But Satan, I mean, that's the new norm, right? I mean, just like the the trans people that were wearing like Satan costumes and stuff that were reading to the children. I mean, that was nuts too. You're not talking about people dressed up like RuPaul when he's in an outfit and he looks like a supermodel. You're talking about people that wearing demented horn costumes while they're reading fairy tales to children. The world has gone mad. And if you don't start recognizing what's happening, your kids are going to be in it, or maybe you're stuck in it and you're not even seeing, like, this is a fitch slap, people. And if you don't know what a fitch slap is, it's a wake up call. A fitch slap is it's always done in love, right? It's used to redirect the course of someone who's gone astray. And people, if you think this is normal, you have gone freaking astray. That is not normal, and it's not okay. You should not be encouraging, purchasing, or inspired by satanic shoes. The mark of the beast, 666 is the mark of the beast. People can use whatever they want. It is still the mark of the beast. This is nuts. And why is Nike not totally freaked out by this? Betsy Ross has got to go, but let's have gay sex with Satan, murder him, become him, and let's put human blood in the sole of a shoe, whether Nike's preparing them or not. I don't know how you do aftermarket shoes. Like, I really need to dive into this because this is insane on another level. Like, are they literally removing the sole and putting, a drop of blood? And whose blood is it? What are we nicking ourselves and dropping blood in it? Did we get blood from somewhere? Somebody donate blood and we're what the heck? This is nuts, people. I need to find a new brand of shoes that is comfortable. Right, Melanie? Like I said, I'm sure Nike is weighing it right now. Okay, is everybody pissed off? Are they happy? Like, they're going to just sway with the wind, whatever comes their way. And I personally, I'm just kind of done with them right now. Like, I am so sick to my stomach. When I see that little Nike symbol, I just want to vomit. I mean, I don't know. It's just freaking me out. That's why the push to say isolated, so that people watch these perversions. I don't know if that's the push or if people just doing it or people are just so whacked out. Because honestly, say what you will about me, but that's nuts, people. I don't judge people. Like, you can like what you like, but if you've gone into to literal evil perversion of thinking it's cool to have gay sex with Satan or any sex with Satan. I mean, seriously. And if you have been around, many of you guys are my followers. I see that you guys can't Nike. Yeah, they can, Melanie. And that's the problem. They're not. Melanie said, can't Nike do something to protect their brand? Yeah, they can. They're not even outraged. They're not saying anything about it. I mean, if that was my brand, I would be on every media outlet. There'd be a cease and desist. Do not associate our brand with Satan and satanic things and, putting human blood in shoes. I don't know. But that kind of perversion, because that's perverted, people. That's nuts. That's nutty McNut stuff. That's evil on a different level. It's evil on a different level. And we have got to start getting people back on track. Because again, you can like what you like in the bedroom, but if you're fantasizing about having sex with Satan, you're messed up. You got issues. You got issues that are well beyond mommy and daddy issues. Those are some serious mental issues, and you need to have them worked on. I'm being serious. Bye-bye, Nike. That's what I say too, Melanie. The more you spend time afraid to be around people, the more time you look to online entertainment. That's true. Hey, Peter, welcome to the broadcast. You know what, Lori, that is true. And now as things are opening up, though, I don't know what the significance was of introducing this again, blood in the sole, SOLE, the sole of a shoe, but human blood in the sole. Like I said, it is so evil on so many levels. And then, like I said, when you look at that and then you look at these girls that callously just basically murdered a man to take his car, and you say, what the heck is going on that people are more outraged? And why is it that the narrative, if this was two white guys that just attacked an Asian or an Arab, this would be they would be rioting in the streets to take those kids and probably run them off into jail all by themselves or to hurt them. But for some reason, there were people, the little blue check mark people on the Twitterverse that have, like I said, which has turned into a cesspool of negative leftist yuck, saying, oh, it's not really their fault. Like, what do you mean it's not their fault? You know, the, I don't know. Again, I'm not saying that there's no mental instability with those girls. I have no idea. But let's not pretend that this is not a major thing. Two underage girls, and they were how old were they, did you say, Melanie? They weren't even old enough to drive, 13 and 15. Neither one of them was even old enough to drive. And they try and steal a car from a man, and they end up murdering him, right in front of other people, and then don't even try and help him. They're too busy trying to get back to the phone. I mean, it's so disturbing. Like, I feel like I want to vomit. And why are we so docile about this? This is crazy. Hello, Miss Vicky. Are you in apps also? So I will follow you. Oh, Lorenzo, thank you so much for being here, sweetheart. Hey, my name shows up. It doesn't show up to me. It says Facebook user. Ed, is that you? And then I say, hi, Vicky. And it says Ed. I know some people were showing up there. Were the girls wearing the Satan shoes? No, I don't think so. I don't think they could have got them, but I heard they sold out in less than 5 minutes. 666 pairs of shoes that were over $1,000 each, have a pentagram. I don't know if there's an upside down cross in there. I did watch the video, and I had watched a piece of it on something else. Hey, Shy Blues, welcome. I had watched a piece of it, I think on the Michael Knowles. Was it Michael Knowles or someone that was, I don't remember who was doing it. I watched a piece of it. But because I wanted to see, before I talk about something, I want to see it myself. I went to look at it, and honestly, I felt like I wanted to vomit. I was like, oh my gosh. And you know what the saddest part was? That there was actual artistic concept to the video, which made it even worse. That the twisting of people's minds has gone to this thing. And like I said, at the end, again, spoiler alert, if he snaps Satan's neck after they've had sex, he snaps his neck and takes his horns off and sticks them on himself. So he basically becomes Satan. Like, what? That's nuts. You guys should be thinking that's nuts. Hey, welcome. The new Oscar requirements push this agenda now too. You know what, Lori? That's absolutely true. And if you guys don't know that in order to the Oscars, the Grammys, you have to have either gay, lesbian, trans. I think you can have. There's a certain percentage of female minorities, it's not about artistic value anymore. It's about how much of the left agenda that you pull in. Was the carjacking where was it? Oh, I don't know what city it was in. You can look it up as Uber Eats carjacking. I don't know where that was. I have it open here somewhere. I'll have to look. Does anybody else know? This is what happens when good men do nothing. That's absolutely true. And I'm guessing that was you that said that, Ed. What the heck? Where is all this BS happening? Yeah, let me see if I can grab the link for you guys. Well, not that I want to promote this at all, so I don't recommend you guys go look at it, but because I always try and provide you the actual stuff that I do on the show. Here in Texas, the BLM want UT College to remove the eyes of Texas. They want what? I'm confused. This is the disgusting nutball video from Lil Nas X. I mean, again, I'll never listen to any of his gross song. I mean, honestly, it's disgusting. And like I said, I actually hate to even share that with you. The only reason I did is because I have always tried to provide you guys the stuff so you know that I actually watched it. I looked at it. I'm I guess you could say educated. I want to say, you know what, it's making me nauseous because it's actually playing in this chat right now while I'm talking to you guys. So I'm going to see if I can delete my own video because honestly, I'll put it back later. I just can't have it there while I'm, well, I'm trying to delete it. Now I can't see myself on screen. So hopefully I'm telling it yes, but it won't let me. I guess I have to cancel and let it go. Okay. Good. My comment was deleted. Uber Eats happened in New York. Thank you, Ed. Okay. Nah, I won't be watching that. Nor I wouldn't recommend it. I really wouldn't, you guys. Like I said, I had to delete it because honestly, it's making me sick to my stomach. But you can find it yourself. And as for the Uber Eats thing, you can find that too. But what we're talking about here is where is the line? Where is the line that you're willing to say something? Where is the line that you're gonna, you know what? I get why people want to be quiet sometimes. I get that it's hard to be like me, where you're out there dropping, information, dropping knowledge bombs, dropping bombs on people that they don't want to hear, disagreeing with people. And I'm not even judging. I'm not judging you. I am exposing the evilness behind some of these things that are going on because that's just evil. And again, I'm a Christian. I believe Satan is real. Like he is real and disgusting. And no, he doesn't probably wear horns. I mean, I don't, he doesn't look like they picture him, right? We try and make things. I mean, the Bible says that Lucifer, which is who Satan is, was actually an unbelievably gorgeous angel, right? So um does he have horns and look like that? No, probably not, right? I'm going to go with no. But we do know that it's evil. We do know that it's wrong. And when we start leaning in that slant, it's because we're missing something in our lives. We're missing purpose and we're missing because come on, guys, what the heck? What is wrong with people that want to create a shoe with human blood in the sole, sell 666 pairs of them, have a pentagram on it, and call it the Satan? I think he actually calls it the Satan shoe, and then do a video of him having a you know a disgusting sexual encounter with Satan. That's just so that's just so bizarre. That's people that are trying to fill a void because there's no amount of money. There's nothing that could get me to do that. Nothing. Like even if somebody was going to hurt my children, I would trust that God would have them in a better it wouldn't happen. I just couldn't do it, right? So it was Texas Nike involved in the manufacturing of the shoes or not? From what I understand, no. Nike said we did not manufacture the shoes. How do they do aftermarket shoes? I don't know. Can you take a shoe? I mean, if you look at the shoes, the tongue has a pentagram on it. So how I don't get that. I don't know how Nike couldn't be involved unless they just paid the fees. I don't know. I've been working on trying to figure that out myself because they're not all they said is no, we it's not like they didn't do it together, right? It's not one of their like a Michael Jordan brand or this, but it's their symbol, it's their shoes. There's a different, like I said, there's that symbol on the tongue. How do you pull off the sole and put blood in the sole? Because if you got a shoe that's already together, you have to separate it to put blood inside the sole. I mean, this is like, who even thinks of that? And who would want a shoe that someone said, yeah, we have human blood in the sole of the shoe? I mean, but 666 people wanted them. I mean, I guess I'm glad that they were only had that demonic number of them, so there wasn't more. But people paid $1,000 for shoes, over $1,000 for shoes that are demonic. I just don't even know. The Texas University to remove the eyes of Texas. They say it's offensive. The eyes of Texas are offensive. But satanic shoes, those are all good. Having sex with Satan, that's all good. I mean, why don't we just, why don't we do that for halftime show? Well, kind of, aren't we doing that? Look at what we had for the Grammys. You got Cardi B having lesbian sex on with Megan Thee Stallion, and now we've got, Lil Nas X having sex with Satan. gay sex with Satan. So like, where are we at? So everything has to be gay or lesbian or trans. There's no, I mean, like, what is going on? Step up, stand out, and speak, people, because even if whether you're on the left or the right, I have to believe I have a lot of friends that are on the left that don't think this is okay. This is not a Democrat Republican thing. This is a demonic, non-demonic demonic thing. It's nuts. I think the horns are the pagan influence. Oh, are you talking about it from Texas? The horns of Texas? I mean, there's definitely, horns are definitely brought into a lot of pagan things, but I mean, let's not identify. I mean, lots of horns are used for different things. So I don't want to, I'm not sure exactly what you're saying there. Maybe they bought the shoes, deconstructed and reassembled. They might have, Lori, but the fact is they're still Nike shoes. And so when you look at them and they got this demonic symbol on them, if Nike was offended, like they should be having a cease and desist and saying, don't you dare sell those shoes. You cannot associate the Nike brand with demonic things. I mean, that's what any normal company would do, is to stop that. And so that's why I want to get to the bottom of this, because like I said, that's nuts. Whether they created the shoes or not, they're not outraged. They should be going ballistic, having attorneys saying back, but they're not. But Betsy Ross, they had to take Betsy Ross. That is off the table. But demons, Satan, worshiping Satan, that's all good. Human blood in the sole of the shoes, no problem. It's no big deal. But Betsy Ross, now that woman, that flag means something really bad. I hope we can all agree that whether you believe in Satan or not, what Satan represents is worse than the flag, the Confederate flag. I mean, I'm just hoping we can all be there, because if we can't get to that level of agreement, then we have a real problem. Because honestly, like I said, it's hard to have a conversation with someone that cannot recognize the severity of pure evil. Even if you just believe it's symbolic, you have to believe that the Confederate flag wasn't about being evil. The Ku Klux Klan was about being evil, right? The Confederate flag was not about being evil. The Confederate flag was a difference of opinion. And again, I'm very, very glad that Abraham Lincoln did what he did to make sure that this country was free of slavery, because that was so wrong, right? I'm so glad. But that doesn't mean the other side was demonic, right? Because demonic is deep, deep stuff. Okay, let's see. Then you would think Nike and all their lawyers would be going absolutely nuts trying to sue the guy for, right, saying, do not associate our name and our brand with that. We're a wholesome image. We're this, we're that. I mean, even if you're not wholesome, there's a there's a line, between, you know, let's call Michael Jordan wholesome just for a minute, or whatever. The athletes that have never promoted really diverse thing, right? I don't know, diverse is the wrong word, but you know what I'm saying. There's like levels, and that one's like, you can't get any deeper in the hole than Satan, right? You just can't. What if it's a sales prop by Nike? If it's a sales prop by Nike, then Nike should be like, I'm not into cancel culture, but I have to tell you that there is a level if you're going to go down to the level of Satan and that kind of demonic level, yeah, I don't want to have anything to do with you. As a matter of fact, I would take every Nike item out of my home, and I don't know if I'd burn it. I wouldn't give it to anybody, because I would feel like I was representing, handing off demonic things. This is true. Like I said, I'm not a cray person. Like, I don't believe so much in the cancel culture. If I don't believe that a company or a brand is doing right by me, I won't buy their products anymore. I don't usually go to the extreme of burning it. If you're going to tell me if Nike supported that, I probably would find every Nike item in my house and I'd probably do a bonfire, just because as a Christian, I don't want to have anything to do with a company that represents Satan, or that's okay with that. I mean, honestly, I got to dive a little deeper, but the fact is that the world's going nuts. I mean, do you guys even agree that that's nuts? Can I get a 5 in the chat box if you guys agree? This is the low. We've sunk low here. I mean, low here, when we've got girls that are murdering somebody and more interested in getting their phone than helping the person. And you got a guy that's promoting shoes about Satan, putting human blood in the sole of the shoes, and doing a video. Guys, he's literally doing the nasty with Satan right there on camera. I mean, it's nasty. That is nasty, right? It's nasty. It's nasty. I don't even know what to say. Lincoln assembled an army to defeat the evil of the day. We need to do the same. Exactly. I absolutely agree. Thank you. Thank you. The horns on Satan, it's part of the pagan idol. Yes, Lori, I totally agree. Thanks, Lorenzo. I think that's you, Ed, as well. But guys, this is where we're at right now. And so, there's lots of stuff going on in the world that can distract us, right? We got the stuff going on at the border, is awful and it's sad and it's disgusting. I mean, I don't know if you guys have been hearing that because this is on the demented side here too. That the way the way that Biden wrote or when he took away the executive or wrote his new executive order that families and children could come across the border. There are coyotes, there are gang members, there are part of the cartels that are bringing children over, suggesting that they're their children. Now, I don't know if they're continuing to do them, but they were. And again, this is a tremendous taxpayer expense. I mean, Biden is pushing us into a pit that is we are, I don't know how we're ever financially going to get out of it until we remove him from office and hopefully undo some of the things that he's done. But he was doing DNA testing and finding out that those people that are bringing these kids over are not their parents. They're not even related, right? Now, I heard from somebody else that they weren't doing those anymore. So they're allowing all this stuff to go on. But the fact is that we need to fix what's going on inside, but we're encouraging this stuff to happen. I heard that the parents of these 12-year-old girls are giving them they're putting them on the pill and then they're sending them with morning after pills in their pockets so when they get raped they hopefully won't get pregnant. Like, I don't know how bad the world has to be to send your child alone in the desert with a coyote or the other people knowing that they're going to get raped or assuming they're going to get raped. People, the world's depraved. It's messed up. And we got people like, and again, and those people I believe are trying to do it out of compassion for their children, think they're going to have a better life, but I don't know what kind of better life you have when you were raped all the way across a country. People, this is messed up. And Josie's blaming it on Trump. Of course he is. He's taking credit for the vaccine, taking credit for the distribution system, and he's blaming everything on Trump. Did you guys put a 6 in the chat box if you saw the senators that went down to the border and that Ted Cruz did a video and the girls in his face saying, this is not a zoo. And, they're in these plastic, like the boy in the plastic bubble, they're in these plastic tents. It doesn't look like, I don't see any, it doesn't look like medical tents, like there's circulation in there. So I imagine the virus is just kind of spinning around and you just keep breathing it. They tried to get away from the kids in cages that, again, they blamed Trump on, but that was from the Obama-Biden administration. But at least there was ventilation. Now they've got them enclosed in bubbles. And like I said, guys, this is messed up. And by the way, did you guys know they also have kids under bridges? I shared something out on my feed today, and I put it in the step up, stand out, and speak section. But they have them out in the open on the dirt with those little fences you use for like when there's snow drifts and stuff like that, and they're just sitting there under these bridges, like out in the open. Now, at least there's fresh air there, but guys, this is nuts. I mean, it's nuts. Anyone with the brain can see we need to stop right now. And if you did not see the other day when the thing I shared out with President Trump said, he's already paid, the United States, we have already paid 100% for the wall. It's already completely been paid for, and Biden will not let them finish the wall. It would only take 3 weeks to finish it. But most people aren't even sneaking in to those openings. They're just walking up and surrendering themselves, because when you walk up and surrender yourself, they take you in, they feed you, they provide you medical care. I mean, I this is what I'm feeling. If you guys know what that means, right? Okay, I wonder if wholesome is considered a critical race white supremacist thing, right? Maybe being pure will be the new federal defense. Virgins might be treated as selfish prudes that need to be punished. You know what, Lori? As demented as that statement is, that's where it seems like things are going. That's a sick statement, right? And yet nothing would surprise you anymore. If we're selling shoes with human blood in them, and doing videos, having sex with Satan, and people think this is okay, there's nothing that would surprise me. How come it's all okay now? No one blaming Biden for bubbles and cages, right? And it's the truth. Why? Why are they not? And that's what I said. What about kids under bridges? Where's the, it was the kids in cages was the big thing. Everybody's blaming Trump, 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 Trump. We have so many more facilities now. We have so many people. And then he goes on to his presser trying to pretend that this is normal. It is not normal. We have 300% increase, right? It's crazy, guys. It is just crazy. Let's see. And they have boys and girls together. You know what, Lorenzo? Because they won't show you, I haven't been able to confirm and verify that, but yes, that's what they're saying, that the boys are raping the girls that they came across the border with because they're sticking them in the same thing. They're sticking socks in their mouths or threatening their parents or to tell other things, and these kids are getting raped because they have 690 people in a space for 80 and 2 guards. How could 2 guards protect 690 children? I mean, and children, right? We know children is under 18, right? And so if you got kids, you got a 16-year-old, 17-year-old boy with a 12-year-old girl, guys, this is horrific. And then not the Biden administration not allowing people to take video, not allowing a United States senator from one of the largest states, and it was his, I believe it was his state because he was in, it was whatchamacallit, something Texas. It's his state, and that she's in his face saying these are not animals and we're not allowed to take video here. It's like, what are you talking about? There should be absolute transparency, and this needs to be fixed. This is nuts. It's nuts, people. It's nuts. Maggie, welcome to the broadcast. We have to stand together and walk the street, right? We do need to. Why are all the Republicans talking about it and no one doing anything? Time to do something, and us, the people, need to get out there. Maggie, I agree. That's why I'm doing this show, because this is outrageous. And if we are not willing to, are we gonna stand up? Are we gonna say something? Are you gonna talk to a legislator? Are you gonna do a live stream? Are you gonna hit the freaking share button and let me do the talking to some of those people, and they can call me the nut job if you're afraid to be out there? Because I get it. I have chosen to be a public figure, and I've chosen to share a message and even to have conversations with people that disagree. But like I said, and if you think this stuff is okay, let's talk about it, because I'm not going to judge you. If you're being a troll, I'm going to call you out on your trolldom. But if you're really confused and saying, you know what, to be honest, I grew up with playing Grand Theft Auto, and so stealing a Uber driver's car and flipping it over and watching him die really probably wouldn't faze me. That's just showing where the world has gone, right? And helps us to identify that we need to start putting tighter parameters. Why? I mean, honestly, why do we need a video game that we can rape in, that we can murder in? I mean, I'm not a big fan of killing games, but I do get, like my kids used to play Clone Wars, right? Nobody dies, there's no blood spurting, but now we've got things where we've got blood spurting everywhere, people dying. You can rape people, and you don't have to pay the prostitute if you kill her afterwards. You get points for running over certain people. I mean, why is that okay? Right? And I get that it's a free country, or at least it used to be before the Biden administration, because right now the Biden administration is kind of putting a muzzle on everyone. And it's really right before that, because we got big tech that's censoring. Like I said, I'm in the schnitzel box. I'm always in the schnitzel box, but we've got big tech censoring us. We've got the left trying to pretend, like I said, that this is okay, that we can watch girls having lesbian sex, and we can watch guys having gay sex with Satan, and we can put human blood in shoes, and these things are all normal. But a Betsy Ross flag's got to go. Dr. Seuss is out. Mr. Potato Head, oh my gosh. Pepe Le Pew, Anybody that's listening has got to freaking wake up. I mean, honestly, wake the heck up. It's time to do something about it, because if you don't say anything, you're going to be the one that's plastered on the street that you got killed, and people are going, oh, 20 points for that guy. I mean, people, we are desensitizing children. We're desensitizing adults. We're making this normal, and it's not normal. It isn't okay. These shoes are sick. These girls are sick. This stuff that's going on right now is sick. We have to identify, and I know some of you aren't Christians, that's okay, right? But think about this. If there's no God, right? And again, we don't have to have this thing, right? If there's no God, then we have no true moral compass. It's a freaking free for all. That means we have no moral compass, because right now, what's going on here in the US, the government is making some really unique choices. We watched as BLM did riots and killed people and set things on fire, and murder was going on, and the autonomous zones and all this nonsense and anarchy. And that was okay. But now we got things where people are trying to identify there's what they believe is voting fraud, and we come unglued. There's a problem. If there's no God, there's no moral compass to guide and direct people, right? And so having sex with Satan and putting human blood in shoes and murdering babies for their baby parts, it's all okay. It's all a free for all. Well, we got to get a moral compass back, people. And the only one I know is Jesus Christ. And that's the truth, right? And if you don't have to believe in him, we can have a conversation, though, about, the Big Bang Theory. And, I mean, just think for yourself for a minute. The human body is really amazing. I mean, honestly, not only, again, go cray cray if you want, but a male and a female, when they get together, the two little body parts make things feel good, also can procreate. Okay, so the bodies, can actually procreate. And when that baby is born, the mama has a built-in feeding system. We don't have to have any external things. The built-in feeding system that shows a creator, a designer, somebody that put thought and effort. You throw a bunch of crap into a box and shake it up, it doesn't pop out and become the world's greatest computer. Someone has to design the computer. Someone has to design what we have, where we breathe and our body heals itself. I mean, think about that, people. The moral compass has gone completely off the rails, and we've got to get it back on course. We have got to get it back on course. Having sex with Satan, then murdering him and becoming him, not normal. Not normal. It's not normal, people. And if you think it is, then you got to get some help. You got to listen to other people that can bring you back down, because you've been so desensitized for so long. Because it's not normal. I got to take a drink. Okay. Ted Cruz is the Texas senator. Yes, he is, Lorenzo. Let's go back here for a minute. We all have to stand together and walk. Yes. Why are there? Yes. Okay. The CDC numbers indicate the virus is going down. EO Joe came on today saying the CDC says the virus is going up. I know, I heard that. He is so full of crap, blaming it on Republican governors, begging them to lock down and mask up. If it's going up, could it be because the illegal immigrants, right? And if you didn't see the other video I shared the other day where they bust them in 100 miles into Texas, there was like 300 of them getting off these buses, dropped in the middle of nowhere. No tests, no masks, no nothing. So we know the numbers are going to go up, because in California they're going to go up, because why? We're a border state, and they're bussing them in. Texas is going to go up. Arizona, I mean, they're flooding people in when we know at least 50% of them have COVID. And so don't even tell us, like, if you brought people in with the flu and just dropped them in among other people that didn't know they had the flu, you're going to end up making people sick, but that's your fault. Ted Cruz is the Texas. Yes, he is. I think when a government won't let its citizens access to what they're doing, it means that something odd is happening. Something wrong is happening, not just odd. When you see the amount of people and they're talk about, oh, safe distancing. And Jen Psaki, I don't know how that woman can sleep at night. I get that it's supposed to be her job, but she's a liar. She's lying, and she knows she's lying, and you could see it in her eyes. She's not going to last very long. I think the woman actually has a conscience, and I cannot imagine she can continue to lie like that and not have her soul eaten away, because she's lying and she knows she's lying. And there's a lot of ways to spin stuff so you can trick your brain into whether or not you're lying. She knows she's lying. This is nuts. It's out of control. They are not our rulers. The government is supposed to be our servant. Right. They are supposed to serve the people. They are not doing the will of the people. They're doing the will of a few people that they seem to make have a really loud voice. And yeah, anyway, nailed it award. Thank you, Maggie. I appreciate that. And by the way, if you guys don't know, you can support the people doing the shows with the coins that you have here. You can purchase coins. You can also earn them just by setting up your account and doing those things. So, and Maggie, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Obama made it a non-free country. I was never an Obama fan, but more and more that I dig into it, the man is a creep. Vicky in the house, Redamore. I know, and Redamore doesn't agree with a lot of the stuff I say, but see, we can agree to disagree and still be friends. Hey, love, it's good to see you. Maggie says, I feel I don't mind having illegals. I just want them coming the right way. I'm the same way. I don't mind. I think everyone should be able to come, but they have to go through the legal process, because you guys, even the country, we can't sustain this. Plus, they're bringing in sickness. Plus, they're encouraging people to hurt those children as they come across. Let's see, right away, it's not that we're against illegals, but we can do it right. At least get them tested, get them situated. And if we took our time and demanded a process, this wouldn't be happening. I'm just wondering why my Democrat friends think, what are their point of view, and if this is okay. They're not talking. Nobody's saying anything. That's a good point. Do we have any Democrats here? Foamy homie, foho in the house. And do we have any Democrats here? And again, I'm not against Democrats. I'm not against Republicans. I'm not against whatever your ideals are, but I do want to talk about it. Are you guys okay with this? Are you okay with the rush at the borders, and that we've had over 100,000 people, and they're anticipating well over 1 million coming in this year, probably closer to 2 million if it stays the way it is right now? Are you okay with that? Because you're paying for the care, you're paying for their clothes, their food, their care, their health care. You're paying for all of that, because our tax dollars are going to pay for it. And we already, this $1.9 trillion that only 9% went to COVID, if you don't know. The rest of it went to a bunch of crap that we didn't need to deal with now. I'm not saying it didn't need to be dealt with. I love museums. I love different stuff, but it didn't need to be dealt with now. And now, like I said, if one didn't know better, they would assume that they were trying to bankrupt the country, because that's where we're headed. I mean, you don't have to have an accounting degree to know that you just can't keep printing money and not have hyperinflation and not have, anyway, I don't want to get into an economics discussion. Sorry. Foho in the house. Totally Walter, welcome to the broadcast. Thanks for being here. Biden's taking them all over the country and dropping them off. And it's wrong, Lorenzo. It's absolutely wrong. I like Jen Psaki, Vicky. I hope you don't mind. Honey, you can like her. I don't mind at all. I don't mind if you like her, but I really don't. I don't hate her, but she's lying, and I know it's her job, but I couldn't live with myself. And like I said, we don't have to agree. I still adore you, and like I said, she's probably a decent person, but she was hired to do a job, and she's doing her job. But she's a liar, and she knows none of that stuff's true. She knows they're not testing those people. She knows what's happening, and I don't know. You can see it in her face sometimes, and I feel sorry for her, because I don't think she's an evil person. I just think she's in a position she can't win because she's lying. And when you lie, it does eat away at you, unless you totally put up a barrier, and then still you're going to end up getting caught up in that. Let's see. I have to believe that good people will wake from their comfort comas and act. I hope so too. Because again, I love people. I think it's so cool when I meet people from different countries and different places. I want everybody to be able to come here, right? Legally. come legally, come the right way. Because right now, what's happening is not helping anybody. I don't want any child to suffer. I don't want anything to happen to anybody. But what's happening right now is a mess. It'd be like a company that had some great resources and just started letting everybody come take everything for free, and because eventually you wouldn't have anything else, and then nobody's going to be there to support you and help you up. They're going to be like, okay, bye, we're going somewhere else now. um yeah, it's not okay. I agree. Ann, how about Kaylee McEnany? I like Kaylee McEnany. I don't see, and this is a good point, so maybe we can have a conversation on this, Retta. Is that um Kaylee didn't lie, or at least I never saw her lie. I saw her go through and go through information. And like I said, I give Jen Psaki credit because sometimes, the press secretary is not going to know everything, and they're going to have to spin it as best they can, or when they don't have the details, to give hypotheticals or possibilities. And I'm even okay with that. But when you get right down to the blatant lying, I get it's her job, and you'd really be torn between supporting your president and your party for a job that you were hired for and eating away at your conscience and your soul. I love Kaylee McEnany. I think she's amazing. I think she was the most prepared press secretary I have ever seen. When she came out with her binder, and they did not have predetermined questions. I mean, the Biden administration, when Biden came out, you guys saw, I'm sure you guys watched all the stuff. You saw he had his numbered people he was going to call on, and he had the cards out. I mean, the poor man is he's declining mentally. I mean, come on. I don't know how anybody can pretend that he isn't. It's super sad. I think it's elder abuse that they're doing this to him. I really do. And I think I think he's gonna fall apart, because you cannot put that kind of stress on people that are having such a cognitive decline. And do you guys know that the man has had two brain surgeries, right? Do we know this? Because I didn't know this maybe before like 6 months ago or 7 months ago. When I went on to Wikipedia on Joe Biden, the first thing that it said was he had two aneurysms in both sides of it. He had one on one side of his brain, and then I think it was like 4 years later, he had another one on the other side of his brain. And I read an article from a neurologist or a neurosurgeon talking about the fact that this cognitive problems that he's having are normal for people who've already had this condition, and that to expect that he didn't have it is insane. Of course, these problems are there. And anyway, it's like, I just don't know. Millions of unemployed Americans, and Biden is bringing millions of unemployed people more. I know. I don't get that either. I mean, can somebody help me? Truthfully, you know, help me. You thought Sarah Sanders was not prepared? Is that what you're saying? Let me know what that means, Retta. I don't get that either. We're struggling. The economy is struggling. There's so much going on. How can we bring in uh, more burden on our economic resources? I just don't get it. I think the new Democrats in office are not the same agenda. I would totally agree. I don't know who's wrote that. Let me see Lori. The universities are teaching extreme views. I agree with that. I think they want the country abolished and a new constitution created. Unfortunately, that could be true. Sadly, the media is tricking people to believe they are a shepherd instead of wolves. I can't disagree with that either. Although, hopefully, it's not all universities. I know I've been seeing it in the public school system. My son had a teacher that tried to teach him, and Elijah really kind of called him out on it. He was telling him that basically he was trying to teach him to be a socialist, and he said, fast food workers and doctors should be paid the same amount. And Elijah goes, then why would I go to school to be a doctor if I can make the same amount of money flipping hamburgers? Why? And he said, because that's what you were born to do. And he's like, so what you're saying is, if people, I don't understand. Why would I go to school for 8 or 10 or 12 more years to make the same amount of money as somebody who works fast food? That doesn't make sense. Like, it couldn't even compute in his brain. But that's what the teacher was trying to teach him. I actually thought I was a Democrat a year ago. Well, Lori, and I've said this before for some of you guys who know me, when I was younger, I used to call myself a Demopublican, because back, when, like right before Reagan was president, I thought I was a Demopublican, or I call myself a Demopublican, right? Because I had the entrepreneurial things of a Republican, and I really believe in social programs and helping people. I've always been a helper of people and someone that supported the underdogs. And many of you guys that went to high school with me know that I was always defending. The small. I was tall then, and I was always bold, and I would defend those people that were being bullied or taken advantage of. And so I called myself a Demopublican. I believe that there wasn't enough compassion from the Republicans, and there wasn't enough business savvy to try and help people to grow from the Democrats. So I called myself a Demopublican. And now I've just seen the parties switch because, like Trump, for instance, you can love or hate Trump, but when you look at his philosophy, he wanted to help people, but he wanted to also teach people to help themselves. And that's what I believe. I don't believe in making people subject to, because putting people on welfare for generations is not helping them. When they see that that's what their mom did or that's what their dad did and this is the way it goes, that's not helping people. That doesn't give them what they need to move forward. So I just think that part is wrong. And I think having programs to launch people, to get them, to a certain place. That's why I was starting my own nonprofit last year to help people. And then with COVID, things just didn't really work out the way we wanted to. We're trying to get that moving. It's like I said, it's a little bit hard in the middle of COVID because what I want to do is the way I want to help people requires, some type of physical contact. Well, let me go back here. Not really physical contact, but being in proximity with people and that kind of stuff. Biden's health issues are why they chose him. I think that's not why they chose him, but I mean, it may have been, but I think because he's the most docile and easily manipulated out of the group. I mean, rumor has it that Bernie, I don't know how, because Bernie is, I don't know how, but rumor has it that Bernie was actually would have been the party, instead of Hillary back then, and then was this time would have been the party too. And they just, like I said, they kept moving people out, and because it's the DNC that gets to choose who they're going to support as the candidate, and they just do. And like I said, and Kamala still haven't figured out that I mean, she dropped out of the race. She was the bottom. Nobody likes her. I mean, you know, she's abrasive and difficult, and she lies. Like, you can tell when she's lying, and that hideous laugh of hers when she lies. I'm not talking about her laugh as a person, but like when she got called out on the fact that, she called Joe Biden a racist and a rapist, pretty much. I mean, I'm, kind of blending it together, but basically, and then decides to be his running mate. Like, if I thought a man was a rapist and a racist, do you think I would be his running mate? The possibility is zero possibility I would choose to be a running mate from someone I believed was a racist and a rapist. And when she got called out on, she's like, just that kind of crazy, yucky laugh too. It was a debate. She's so phony. And then this part, I know, like, I believe that people should treat everybody with dignity and respect. But when she's like, I'm speaking. I saw that shirt in Las Vegas this weekend, and I wanted to like rip it up because I thought she put people back, and women in politics back, and so did Nancy Pelosi when she ripped up the State of the Union. But that's a whole nother thing. All right, let's see. I have one thing to say. I love everyone, whatever your political party you're in. I don't hate. I don't either. Retta, I think that you know that about me. I don't. I despise thing that, like, the support of Satan and this whole satanic thing that was going on with the shoes. I despise that because that's evil. I hate evil. I don't hate people, right? I don't hate people. I told everyone years ago of Biden as vice president. I told everyone years ago of Biden as vice president. What about him? Keep this insurrection crap on Periscope. I don't know what that means, Birdman. Are you trolling, or I don't know what that is. Funny thing is, people are being if you're still here, Birdman, feel free to explain what that means. Because, like, who's what I don't know what you're talking about. Funny thing is, people are being tricked with math. There's a meme that Kamala is pushing Arabic numbers be taught like it's a bad thing. What kind of numbers should we be using if not Arabic? Roman numerals? Lori, I'm not sure, like, I had seen that thing in something, and then of course somebody says, well, Arabic numerals are the same as the numbers we use. I don't think that's commonplace knowledge. I wasn't sure. I mean, honestly, Roman numerals, like you said, are different. They're not the same. So I wouldn't have known. And so I'm not sure. I don't think math is tricking people. I think memes are tricking people because we don't, people are pushing other people's buttons. Hey, Lorenzo, thanks so much for subscribing. Corpus Christi in the house. Welcome, welcome. Now I found you in Haps. Oh, I'm following you. Thank you, sweetie. Appreciate it. Kamala Harris loves seeing a woman VP. I don't have a problem seeing a woman VP. I just don't think she's the one. Like, I think that like I said, that she's abrasive. I watched the way. Well, I have to say there's not a lot of women in politics that I've seen articulate themselves the way you need to move forward and get things done, right? And Kamala, I think she's abrasive and rude. The way she treated Brett Kavanaugh during the hearings, whether she thought he was guilty or not, I thought was unprofessional and rude. And I just have no respect for her. I have no problem seeing a woman as VP. I have no problem seeing a woman as president. I mean, I really don't. I don't think she's the one. I think, like I said, that she's abrasive. I don't think people take her seriously because they don't like her. And when you don't like someone, it's really hard, especially in negotiations. Like if you're trying to negotiate with a foreign leader or a foreign country, if you're abrasive and rude, it's going to be really difficult for you to get what you want unless you have all the power. And and that's what Biden has kind of thrown around, like when we saw the things about, well, I told him if you didn't do this, you're not getting the $1 billion. And he said, well, you can't make that decision. He goes, go ahead and call my boss. Like he's full of himself. And I don't know, but that's just my opinion. Let's see. Periscope is a more appropriate place for spreading Republican propaganda. So Birdman, so what you've decided that trolling is like, because that's what you're doing. Like it's not a Republican propaganda. You pop into the end of a broadcast and pipe up with some ridiculous rhetoric. Like if you want to have a conversation, get involved in the conversation. Listen to what we're talking about. I mean, like I said, it's hard to take you seriously. Like that, just have part of the conversation. Ask a question. We're talking about satanic shoes, which have nothing to do with Republicans. We're talking about these two girls that murdered a man and wanted to walk over him to get their phone. I mean, like I said, you pop in at the end of something and make some kind of ridiculous statement. So let's just pretend you didn't do that and let's start over and see if you can join in the conversation. Okay. And because it's my channel, you can be here or not be here. You make a choice, but to pop in, it's like walking up to someone's door and saying you shouldn't be having this conversation with your guests. Like just leave if you don't want to have the conversation, or join in the conversation and find out what's going on. Lorenzo said they put Joe as president just to take him out, to put Kamala Kermit the Frog Harris as president by next year. You know what? I've been predicting that he's going to make it to 100 days. Right after the 100-day mark, I think we're going to see him by. Hey, Lisa, welcome to the broadcast. Thanks for subscribing. And again, guys, if you haven't hit the share button yet, I understand it takes some courage, right, to hit the share button. But if you haven't hit the share button, hit the share button. And if you haven't subscribed, hopefully you'll come over to haps.tv/invite/Vicky Fitch. We'll also get you some coins for participating, and that you can use to actually donate to broadcasters, and people can then donate money to you as well if that's your thing. We're always happy to have people subscribe and have people that are interested in the content so we can have conversations. Like I said, everybody in here does not agree with my point of view, and I'm okay with that. We're having a conversation. Don't be a troll, because nobody likes a troll and it doesn't pay well. So just don't, right? But ask questions. Let's talk. And like I said, I'm not sure about that 100 days. I told about Joe having brain operations. See, so you told most people don't know that. Put a 7 in the chat box if you did not know if you did know that Joe Biden had 2 brain operations. Put a 7 in the chat box if you didn't know that. And you can look that up on Wikipedia. That is not me coming up with stuff. Kamala's already doing the meetings with other dignitaries. Have you heard of one single Biden meeting with anyone? No, Lori, I haven't. And did you guys hear that she was assigned the border thing? And somebody literally said she laughed about it and she refused to do it. And now they've assigned it to someone else. I don't know. Thoughts about Dianne Feinstein? Let's see. Dianne, she definitely, I think what you're referring to is that question before about her ability to communicate. I think she articulates better So I would have to put her on a higher level. I don't like her policies, like in terms of that. I don't like her policies, and I don't like, but I would say she's better. I mean, if that's what we're talking about, she's more diplomatic. Um, I didn't like I didn't like that she caved when she hugged. I think it was Lindsey Graham. Wasn't Lindsey Graham she hugged? And then she got, berated for it, and then, kind of pulled back. And I hate that. Like, just, you know what? Just be who you are. Step up, stand out, and speak. If people don't like that you guys are crossing the aisle and you can actually be friends, you should be able to be friends with Democrats and Republicans. It should have nothing to do with whether or not you're friends. You don't have to agree. You may not hang out with somebody all the time that had completely different views than you, but you don't, to hug them because you care about each other. I mean, that's just why? Why do we have to do that? It just doesn't make any sense. So I don't know if Retta, if I answered your question or not. Not willing to have a conversation with someone as biased as you. Biased? What? My opinions are biased on what? On my opinions? Just saying that this is not welcome on Haps. Then go away, Birdman. What do you mean it's not welcome on Haps? It is welcome. It's a conversation. I even hashtagged it political. So if you don't want to be here, you don't have to. But it's not true. I can have a conversation here with whoever I want on whatever I want. And we're not just talking politics. We're talking, again, if you came in at the beginning, we were talking about, so why don't you just tell me, what do you think about these Satan shoes that little Nas made? Are you okay with them and putting human blood in the sole of the shoe? Do you think that's okay? And then that he was having sex with Satan on his new video. Do you think that's okay culturally? And are we, when he professes that his fans are mostly children, are you okay with that? And is that political? And I mean, if you want to give me the criteria of what I'm allowed to do on my own channels, I'll be happy to take a look at it. But I think that you're overreaching here, because I can talk about whatever I want. That's the whole point of a free society, like a free opportunity for me to promote who I am and what I believe in. And like I said, you don't have to stay. You can stay if you want. You can even disagree if you want. But to tell me my content isn't welcome here, unless you're the owner of the app and you say, hey, you're breaking my rules, then it doesn't even make sense. I don't know why you would come on and come into my house, because this basically is my house, it's my channel, and tell me that it's not welcome. I don't get that. But feel free to tell me why. Let's see. Let's see here. He might stumble and fall Air Force One stairs next time. That was so sad. Honestly, that was so sad. Now, I don't know. I mean, saying, okay, this is a joke. Saying the wind knocked him over, that was just stupid. Now, did his leg give out? Were his shoes slippery? I mean, I've fallen downstairs. I fell down an entire flight of stairs in front of 7,000 people. Okay. And I didn't try and pretend it was the wind. It was what it was. It happened to be a molding that came off, but it's like, come on, what is that? Let's see. I would be happy if he would resign tomorrow, one less person in the way. Dale, you say that, but then Kamala would take over. And that's even scarier, because I'm not even sure the woman has a conscience. I don't know if Joe does either. I'm not sure. I'd like to think so, because you like to think that he's like this grandfatherly thing that has some wisdom there. But, do you believe Tara Reid, that he molested her? They're all talk about gotta believe her until it happens to Joe. And then all of a sudden, where's Tara? Does anybody know? I mean, that she filed a claim that said he was sexually inappropriate with her. They got her in a hallway, was groping her breast, put his hand underneath her, her skirt. And then when she was saying that, she didn't want it, he goes, oh man, I thought you wanted it, or I thought you liked me. So it sounded more innocent in terms of, you're a lech because you're married and you're, creeping out with somebody, that's wrong. In my personal opinion, if you're married, then you shouldn't be doing that. But what happened? Why is it that nobody's talking about it? How did that get swept under the rug? How did the Hunter Biden laptop stuff get swept under the rug? Because let's face it, I mean, there's lots of evidence. If you don't use Google and Chrome as your browser, if you go check out the Brave Duck, you guys know what I'm talking about. All of a sudden, lots of info is there, and you go, whoa, wait a minute, we knew about this. How is this not? What's going on, right? Let's see. 7. Thank you, Lorenzo. 7. Thanks, Walter. So 2 people knew about Biden stuff. The rest of you either aren't commenting. There's a couple hundred of you in here, and there's the rest of you aren't commenting or you didn't know, right? And most people I didn't know, and I was pretty connected in what was happening politically until I looked him up and found out I didn't know that. So, anyway, I knew of one, not two. Yeah, he had two. He had two surgeries, and I have an article that was written that I've told some of you about before. It was written by a neurosurgeon about these things. And if you guys want it, send me a message. I'll do it. She hugged Lindsay. Yeah, she hugged Lindsay. She's co-chair member with them. I love seeing both Republicans. Me too, Retta. I thought it was cool that they hugged, right? I thought it was great. And I was so sad that they took that and tried to make it such a nightmare. It's just wrong. Like, why? We're people. It's not, people aren't party lines. We're people. Dale says, my best friend at work is a Biden Democrat and we get along fine and we know we don't agree on. Right, Dale. That's what I'm saying. It's okay. I have friends that are Democrats. And like I said, I don't even agree with everything I mean, I don't know. I can't think of anything specific, but it's not like I'm a party line supporter. If the Republicans say it, that's not who I am. I am who I am. I believe that we take care of people, and I believe we make changes when things aren't supporting what we need to do and how we need to grow together as a union, as a country, as people. And anyway, that's the way it has to go. Let's see. Birdman thinks only Democratic conversations should be allowed. Maybe so. I don't know. Republicans should be sent to camps. That could be true. I don't know, Lori. Lorenzo says the whole thing about Kermit the Frog is the Democrats want to be the first American political party to have a woman president. Maybe they do. And like I said, see, I didn't like Hillary Clinton at all. I think Hillary is as abrasive as Kamala. I think Hillary, I don't want to say she would have made a better president. I think she's evil. I really do. I think the woman, her agenda, when I say evil, I think her agenda is all about Hillary. And I think it always has been. I think we all knew that she wanted to be president when Bill was elected, that her agenda was all about her. And that's what I mean. But it's not about the people. It's not about how you can serve the country or the nation. It's about her. And I hated that. They would just impeach her. Well, who would, Dale? That's the thing. Who would impeach her? And what would they impeach her for? Like I said, I mean, I know that there's a rule that you have to disclose your medical condition. If it's something that could, prevent you from doing your actual duties. And you can tell. Somebody actually said something to me, called me a POS because I was making fun of Biden's stutter. I never made fun of Biden's stutter, and I rarely actually hear him stutter. It's really, he stops and goes, I forgot where I was at, or did it. And you know what? People do that in real life, but when you're the president of the United States during a press conference, you don't get to do that. When you're the president of the United States and you are actually having a conversation with a foreign dignitary or negotiating things, you don't get to do that. And he does it constantly. And he's declining mentally. It's got nothing to do with a stutter. And his stutter, I believe he had when he was 12. If you watch his old videos, the guy was sharp as a tack. Even 7, 8 years ago when he was serving in the Obama administration as vice president. He was, like I said, flippant and sarcastic. There was no stutter. Like maybe he had a stutter when he was 12 or whatever, but this has nothing to do with it. Stop making excuses for a man who's obviously declining in the cognitive department. Don't make excuses for him. Either say we're okay with it or, we didn't know, but stop making excuses because it's just wrong. Honestly, if Kamala took over, it would still be the same agenda, but a person who can possibly be asked questions. That's a good point, Lori. But she's not very good at it either. She's just, like I said, if it's not scripted in a speech, she's not very good at doing that either. Nancy Pelosi was shot in the head, remember? No, Lorenzo, I did not know Nancy was shot in the head. Are you joking? Because this is true. I did not know that if that is true. I did not know Nancy was shot in the head ever. Was she, or is he lying to me? Thoughts on Mr. Pence showing up at the inauguration? That made me feel good about him. You know, I have to separate it for a minute. You know what, Bretta, that's a really tough one because when you break it down, if you believe that the election was stolen, right, and you believe that Trump was treated unfairly, and you believe all these things, that there were things at play to do that, there was enough evidence that from the evidence that was displayed just on, from people's personal testimony and the things that went through court, that there was enough evidence of foul play. Maybe not enough to change the election, maybe there was, but there was enough evidence that I didn't feel like Mike stood up for truth, not party, but truth. And so when you feel like someone stole the election, it would be really hard to want to be there. Like I said, if you take it away, if there was no election integrity issues, then absolutely Mike Pence should have been there, and so should have Trump. If it was just a fair race and everybody agreed and all this stuff hadn't gone on, then absolutely they should both be there, and it would have been Trump acting like a juvenile child to not show up, right? But because of the circumstances, I don't know how to answer that question, because I don't feel like Mike Pence stood up for truth, because there was enough evidence. Like I said, whether it would have swayed or not, and whether he thought he was protecting the American people and trying to keep us out of civil war, whatever, truth is truth. And anyway, that's my thought. So I'm not sure how to answer that. Again, if everything was on the up and up, not only should he have been there, Trump would have too. Let's see. Thoughts on Vicki, why do many Republicans now have mixed feelings about Pence, but not before the elections? Retta, because what I just said. And like I said, I'm sure you wrote that before, but because of what I just said, let me know if that explains it, because that's why that Republicans were really disappointed, because he not because he let the party down, he let truth down. There was enough to say, hey, this doesn't look right, and to take the time. Not, like I said, there was enough time. Things could have been different, and they weren't. Like, still within the logistics, still within the time frame to verify things, and he chose not to do it because, it's said he did it to stop, a civil war from breaking out, because that they were prepared for the riots in the streets. Vicky, why do many Republicans now have oh wait, okay. She wasn't shot in the head. That was the Arizona woman, Gabby Giffords. I presume he was thinking of Nancy, just drunken dementia. Nancy obviously is taking some kind of medication, because I don't think she's drunk when she starts slurring her words, but that is when people are, and I'm sure, it's prescription medication. I'm sure she has ailments. I mean, she's getting older. There's medication you have to take for pain and different things, but she definitely slurs her words. So she's not always, she's not always 100% there either. I'm not saying she's making decisions. I think she, yeah, I don't think Nancy has anyone's best interest at heart but her own either. But again, that's me. Best Chica, welcome, girl. She wasn't okay. I didn't even see that was you. Hey, girl, it's good to see you. If you guys aren't following me, make sure you give me a follow. Whatever platform you're on, also come over to Haps. I don't know. Birdman thinks I should be kicked off Haps because I should not be able to talk about what I want to talk about. I disagree, but that's okay. He's allowed to have his opinion. Yes, she was in the news before the Obama administration. Who was? Lorenzo, sorry. Retta Moore, because he wasn't standing up for objections and proprieties and not representing the Constitution. Exactly, Bastiga. Thank you. I highly doubt that my signature was ever verified from my ballot. They paid Pence off. Lorenzo, I don't know if they did or not. Like I said, that's not something proven. I don't know if that's the truth or not. I don't have any indications that would be true, but I don't think that, like I said, he stood up for the Constitution. I think there's a lot of people that are trying to tear the Constitution to shreds right now, and it's really sad. I tried to find anything on Nancy being shot. Nothing came up. Thank you, Dale. Appreciate it. Gotta run. Hey, good night, Retta. I'm going to go too. Guys, you are amazing. I hope you guys enjoyed the broadcast. If you're not following me, do a girl a solid and give me a follow. Thank you for the high fives. Thank you for the props. Thank you for the recognition, for the comments, for participating. I really appreciate it. I typically try and be here every night at 6 p.m. Pacific to deliver some value to you. Today, we're talking about a mad, mad world. Catch the replay if you did not see the beginning. We're talking about blood, human blood in the sole of shoes, satanic things, gay, satanic videos having sex with Satan and then murdering him and becoming Satan. And we were talking about, I mean, all kinds of disgusting things that the world is kind of flipping off its axis. And some of it we got to learn to step up, stand out, and speak. I don't know what they paid. I don't know that they paid him off. I think he was weak and feared future retaliation. I agree, Best Chica, but that shouldn't have influenced him if he's principled. Exactly, Best Chica. That's my whole point too. I will stand corrected if I was wrong. On which part? Oh, and again, Lorenzo, you don't have facts, so that's what you were feeling, right? And I think it's okay for us to believe what we believe and say, you know what? It seems like, or the only reason I can think of is, rather than making definitive statements that then people will call you a conspiracy theorist or whatever. If there was some evidence of that, then you might want to do that. But again, I would just tweak my words a little bit unless we know that it's true, right? We only know what we know, and other things we just have a feeling. Like I said, like we just have feelings. So, you know, Nancy Pelosi gives me the heebie-jeebies. Like I said, I don't have any. I just think she's wicked. I think she's a wicked woman. I really do, and because she only cares about herself. And when you don't have any moral compass to go in and you are your own moral compass, I think that's where we fall off, we get in trouble. So anyway, guys, you are amazing. Again, if you haven't subscribed to haps.tv slash Vicky Fitch, come on over, check it out, guys. I appreciate you being here. Hopefully we can continue on the conversation. And again, if you don't like the content, you can just breeze on by. Go ahead and follow. Do a girl a solid, give me a follow. If you don't like it, you can always unfollow later. But we'd like to come into some fun conversations, and some of them are, like I said, I was in fighting mood when I got on here this morning or this evening. So anyway, guys, appreciate you. I'll see you tomorrow night at 6. Oh, thank you so much, Best Chica. I appreciate it. You're amazing. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific. And until then, remember, I want to remind you, like I always do, to dream it, believe it, and achieve it. Ciao.